part 3 of Love Without Self-Abandonment. Welcome to part 3. Let us continue our conversation, a 5-part immersion in boundaries, trust, and inner authority. Let's continue. Okay, now to carry on the story. So yes, we're rounding around in the circle in the top of the mountain, but never quite getting there. So that was yesterday. And then to carry on, now, so when I came back down to join the person I was walking with, the next thing was to get back to the car, and we were so high up, and the most direct route was it was quite steep going down. Now, in the past, what I've done is just gone along to get along. Okay, so even though it has felt a bit unsafe to me to go down that steep path, I'm not, I'm not the most, I'm not the most balanced. One of my daughters is very balanced. She hardly ever falls, and she's just really balanced. I'm not that person. Okay, I'm not that person, and so I'm not always the most balanced of people. So doing strange, well, it wasn't strange, just going down a steep route, the chances of me falling over were quite high. At least in my head, they were quite high. So anyway, normally I would just go along to get along. Okay, but this time, what happened was I did originally go along to get along. So even though I felt like I really don't want to go down this path, but this person I was going with wanted to go down this path, and I wanted to go along with them. I'd already left them behind to go up the mountain and everything. So there was part of me thinking, oh, maybe I should just go along to get along, just to please the person that I was with. And immediately I did feel unstable. I did feel like you're going to fall, Rosemary. You're going to fall. And I kept going, going really slowly. And he was encouraging me to keep coming, but I was going really slowly. And then finally, I kind of got to this point where it was just like, you know what? No, this doesn't feel safe to me. I'm going back up. And so I did have to say to the guy I was walking with that, nope, this isn't good for me. I understand you want to go this way, but I don't. I don't feel safe. I'm going back up. And to partner that, so yes, I did go back up. Okay, and for me that was a big step. Okay, it was a big step because normally, yeah, I'd go along to get along. As much as I am one for saying no when I want to say no, you sometimes in some circumstances I would just go along to get along. Okay, but this time, no, I had to trust me and realize for me, this was not working. This was not working. I had to listen to me. Sometimes you have to listen to you. Okay? Need to listen to you. Even if everyone is doing something that seems normal and they're trying to make you feel like, but what's the problem? Just do it. Just do it. Just come along with me. Come on. And we all know this because, if you've had children, you've tried to tell your children not to give in to peer pressure and blah, blah, blah. But then we forget that really adults sometimes are just high schoolers grown up a little bit. Sometimes, not always, but we like to think that we're a bit more mature. But sometimes a lot of what you do is really based around what are the people around you doing? What do they expect from you? And do you just go along to get along? Okay. And so it can feel safer to be part of the crowd and to be going along with things. But does it actually? Does it actually feel safe? Really? And for me, going down this path, it did not feel safe. And I finally had to realize if I fell down, it would be my fault. So if I want to avoid that, I need to go back up and go down a bit of a longer route down, but I was cool to do that. Okay. So listen to yourself. Your body knows, your intuition knows. Sometimes we don't want to hear the truth of what we're about to do or what we are doing. And so we keep going and we keep going. And then there's a whole sunk cost thing. I've gone this far, I may as well keep going. I've invested this much, I may as well keep going. And sometimes it's not always so clear. Because sometimes, yeah, you need to keep going. Sometimes you are stretching and you feel afraid. There's that kind of fear which is stretching you. It's like the fear of the tension of giving birth to a baby. You have to go through it. There's no, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. Well, in the case of a baby, there isn't that. The baby has to come out one way or the other, basically, really. But and the birthing of a vision, you kind of have to go through in order to get to the other side. But then there's the following along with other people's advice for you, other people's ideas of what you should be doing, other people's ideas of what they want you to do, and you go along because at least I don't have to argue with them. I just keep the peace. I'll just go along. And inside of you, you know, this isn't right for me. This isn't right for me. And you need to listen to you. You need to listen to you. You don't sometimes you and sometimes we're waiting for a reason to feel the way we feel. You do not need to explain why you don't have to explain to anyone why you are making a different choice from them. It is enough to say, no, I'm not doing that. And yeah, they might question, and but sometimes actually in the trying to answer and give yourself and give reasons, you kind of get convinced to just carry on because your reasons don't sound sensible. You don't have to have sensible reasons, okay? You just don't feel right. That's good enough. It doesn't feel right for you. That's good enough. That's a good enough reason. You do not have to explain yourself. You don't. You are the authority on you. You know what you can handle. You know what you can't. You know what you should be handling and what you shouldn't be. You know. Sometimes we try to pretend we don't know. It's like when people kind of get pulled into doing random things. Okay, so it's talking about, especially in the world that I'm coming out. Well, no, I'm not coming out. I still do business coaching, but I generally make it a point of not accepting coaching clients who are really just chasing money, chasing money, chasing money, chasing money. Oh, chasing the quickest way to passive income, the quickest way to passive income. Because I did it, so I get it. Basically, I did it and I get it. Except I suppose the difference for me, well, when I was doing it pre bankruptcy and pre everything, as soon as things got difficult anyway, I would quit. So that was a good enough indication that yeah, I'm wasting time here. Um, however, um, however, sometimes people don't quit. One, they just keep going, even though they can, especially when it comes to money stuff. If you do not fully understand what it is that you're committing to, definitely say no. Definitely say no. No matter how many people are telling you how, oh, this is an easy way of getting money, and it worked for me, it worked for me. If you don't have a full understanding and full transparency, and you also, and what's the point? Because even if you had full understanding and full transparency, but you don't feel good about this path, trust yourself. Trust yourself. It's sometimes difficult to hear yourself in the middle of all the noise. This is why you need to learn to. And sometimes making, if you're not, if there's any uncertainty around the decision, make the decision, but don't do anything. Wait a night or two. If you still feel like making that decision, then carry on. However, but if you can't even wait a night or two and already your mind is changed or you forget about it or you're too desperate that it must happen now, listen to yourself. Okay, so that's in terms of money and all of that stuff, but even in terms of relationships, in terms of your health, in terms of whatever, get into the habit of trusting you. When there feels like an inner no, allow it to be a no. Allow it to be a no. Okay, allow yourself to change your mind as well. As remember, as I started by going down this path, and I was tempted to just keep going to get along, but then I suddenly realized you actually know. So even though I had said yes, that yes I will come along, but when I finally had the courage to realize no, this is really a no. I had to finally just say, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going back up. You can come with me or you can carry on. That's fine. But it's not right for me. It's not right for me. Now, something else about this trip down, trip up and down the hill, was that at the beginning of the trip, as we were leaving the car to start our journey up, I got an impression, I got a nudge to save my parking location. Now, usually when I go with this person up the hills or wherever we're going for a walk, I just leave my safety and I leave my location and everything to him to remember to get us back. Okay. But this time I felt, because sometimes what has happened in the past is that this person will decide that we are going to go down this path. And because I have no idea how to get back to the car because I've not saved my location, I have no idea how to do it. I have to follow along. I have to go along to get along because there's no way. And so, but this time, because I'd had that nudge and this time I listened to the nudge that said, save your parking location right now. So I'd saved my parking location before starting the walk. So I knew that I did not have to be with this person. He could go his way and I could go my way and I would still find my way back to the car. And that preparation, that moment of listening, again, trusting that nudge inside of me ahead of time meant that when it came to say no, I could say no with confidence, knowing that I will find my way back down because it's saved on my phone. I can find my way back down, unless of course my phone died or something, but I had battery on my phone, so it was fine. Okay, so again, preparing, or sometimes in this case, it was more a case of listening to the nudge, especially since I'd had many occasions before where I had sort of given up my own sense of security and depended on somebody else to take care of me. Which I'm not saying it's always. I don't want to make some kind of general rule that always never trust anybody to take care of you ever, ever, ever. No. Remember, it was the nudge. I heard the intuitive nudge for this situation, not to leave it to the dude I was with to take care of my of where I am and be the map person and and all of that. I had to take responsibility and I listened to that nudge. So again, no general rules here. So I'm not saying you can never trust anyone. What I'm saying is you can trust yourself always more, and you need to listen and practice listening to the divine within you. Practice that. As well as if you've been in a situation before that is very, very similar with the same person, for goodness sake, and it hasn't worked out well for you before, then take precautions the next time. Okay, take precautions the next time to ensure you don't find yourself in the same situation again. Okay, so again, trust yourself. Again, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. I'm not saying never be dependent on somebody else. I'm not saying that at all, because sometimes actually the divine is going to support you through someone else. Your prosperity is generally going to come through somebody somewhere. So if you are cutting yourself off, saying you can't trust anybody anytime, I can never trust anybody, then that will cut you off from you getting the thing that you're actually waiting for. But I'm saying definitely listen to those intuitive nudges within you. Practice hearing the divine. Practice hearing the divine. I can't emphasize this enough. Practice hearing the divine. Use the divine download that comes in the daily ritual each Monday to Friday. Use it to sit with the divine and hear what the divine is saying to you. Use that as a practice of getting used to hearing the divine, so that when you are going about your daily business and you feel a nudge, you've learned to listen to it. You've learned to hear it and listen to it, instead of just thinking, oh, I'm just feeling uncomfortable for nothing. Oh, I just need to carry on. Oh, after all, everybody's going that way, I should go with it. You'll know. I feel something, and you'll pay attention. Divine, what are you saying to me? What would be better for me in this situation? Okay, again, no generalizations, please. Don't think I can never trust anybody ever. What I'm saying is, for each situation, be willing to hear what the divine is saying and trust that you can. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. I cannot emphasize this enough. So because I trusted myself, I saved my parking location. That meant I was free to say, you know what, no, I can't go this way, but I'm going to go a different way. It's okay if you want to carry on, because I will find my way back. You just have to wait for me when you get there. Basically. Okay. So again, I had in the past, I had been helpless. I had allowed myself to put myself in a position that I had been the way I was helpless. And sometimes we do that. Don't listen, especially as I said already, with the same person, and you're doing the same stuff that didn't work the last time. There's wisdom as well. Okay, be wise, be wise, be wise. You're not powerless. Just prepare yourself to be able to go your own way whenever you would like to. Okay. Okay. Yes, in the end, the path that I did choose took longer, but it was safer for me. And so even though it risked somebody being annoyed with me or disapproving of my choices and trying to convince me that I didn't know what I knew and that I should come that way, I trusted myself. Okay, I trusted myself. I trusted myself and decided it's okay for me to disagree with you. I'm going my own way. And even if it's a longer way, actually, I had a heck of a lot of fun on my longer way home. I think we'll be talking about the longer way journey home, yeah, tomorrow. But for now, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Okay. When I got back to the car in the end, I was told by this person that actually it was probably best that I did make that choice, because it got even more precarious going down. And the truth is, I didn't need the validation, because I had made a choice that was best for me. And that's the case with life. Sometimes we're hoping that we'll prove to this person that my way was the right way. No. It's not even about, oh, what's the point? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe they'll affirm that you made the right choice. And in a lot of circumstances, they won't. There will always be somebody that's able to tell you, well, you didn't have to do it that way. So if you're trying to prove something that doesn't need to be proved, you will never be satisfied. Anyway, and you don't need somebody else's validation to decide this is my path. Get out of the habit of needing somebody else's permission or somebody else's validation. Yes, it was nice to realize that I actually made the right choice for me. And sometimes you'll get that confirmation, but sometimes you won't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Again, it comes back down to trusting yourself to know what is best for you, trusting yourself above everyone. Always trusting yourself, trusting that you can hear the divine, trusting that you are enough, trusting that you are worthy of everything that you desire, trusting that you are enough to get to where you want to go, trusting that you're capable of whatever calling or whatever it is that you want or whatever dream or desire you have, trusting yourself enough to go your own way. You always know what is best for you. You can always tap into the divine within to get the wisdom you need for any situation. Always trust yourself. And so when you feel inside of you an inner no, pay attention. Don't just go along to get along. Pay attention. This is your life. These are your choices. Pay attention. Okay? Okay, and that is that one for today. I would love to hear what thoughts come up for you as you listen to me explain some of this stuff to you. What comes up for you? Okay, what is the divine saying to you in the middle of all of this? Until the next time, my lovelies, go forth and prosper. Bye.